right, so we're going to get into it, but I gotta finish what I was saying. That
the time for that is over.
Time for that. Now, the issue is, like I said, if you have preferences for what you're looking for in a spouse or a partner or whatever, make that known to your partner or your spouse privately, individually.
Absolutely.
That's where,
because 11 out of 10, nobody asked you.
That's the thing.
Like, no, you know what I'm saying? Like, nobody inquired about this. Nobody cared. Nobody wanted to know. Yeah. Nobody was filling out the application. It was like, I'm not the preference.
That's just what
you know what I'm saying.
But for everybody,
why do I need to know this information?
Everybody wants to be collectively outraged. Yeah. I'm not with the collective outrage, man. We talk about this all the time. This collective outrage is social media fodder. That's what it is.
But it's negging, bro. It's saying negative shit to get attention.
Exactly.
You know
that's exactly what it is.
That's what it is. Like I'm gonna say that. Oh, I don't like short bitches. So all the short chicks, you know what I'm saying, can get their demon asses upset.
That's where it's at, though.
Well, you saying all short chicks is demons?
Yes.
Whoo.
Yeah, 5'5" and under. Stop it, Satan.
Hey, yo, fellas, was really good, yo. Episode 72 of the From Earth podcast. We're in the building. What's going on, everybody? This is your host, Julius, from Earth with the From Earth podcast. And I'm here with the homie Esoteric.
I'm just trying to pray for B-Soul right now.
And the homie B Davis.
Love and light.
And as you can see, we didn't already had a pod episode before these mics and these cameras came on.
Are you disagreeing with me that 5'5" and under women are evil? Are you disagreeing?
Yeah, I'm disagreeing with you.
You are.
I'm disagreeing with you.
So the camera came on and you started capping.
Ain't no cap, bro.
That's cool.
We talked about individual preferences, right?
That's cool.
We talked about individual preferences?
I mean, we did, but now we're talking about...
My individual preference is 5'5" and under.
Right, but now we're talking about facts. See, there's a difference. Like you were talking about preferences, and I started bringing in science.
My individual preference is 5'5" and under. Facts and science.
It's scientifically proven that Satan is under 5'5". That's it.
All right, yo, whatever. All right, I gotta do some house cleaning stuff or some housekeeping stuff before we get any further. And for the YouTube crowd, we appreciate you guys. Thank you guys. We have the audio version that comes out every Thursdays on FromEarthPodcast.buzzsprout.com. We also record. It also streams on all of the digital streaming platforms. So it can be found on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah. All right. For the YouTube crowd, for the listeners, we're on YouTube. We're on YouTube.
Surprise!
Search the From Earth podcast. Everything you hear, you can actually get to see us, see our expressions, our faces. This is what we do every single week. And so that's what I wanted to make sure I got out the way. Oh yeah, and don't forget to like, subscribe, share. Yeah. All right, the From Earth podcast, everywhere, anywhere you see it, like it, subscribe, tell your people, tell your friends, tell your folk. So that's what we're doing with that. We're gonna continue this conversation, but not right now. Not right now, yo.
Got him.
Not right now.
Got him.
Where do you fellas want to start?
Science does it every time. You tell me. You the moderator, bro. We just work here. Moderate this job.
I'm paying the workers.
Right. I barely work here. Like, what are you talking about?
Are you calling yourself an indentured servant?
Well.
Whew, that's deep.
I should just show up for the comments.
That's deep. All right. Well, let's start with.
Rory and Maul do, right?
What'd you say?
Rory and Maul, what'd they do?
Y'all gonna split off? Y'all gonna split off into your own?
Yeah. I'm following that man.
Bad. I'm following him too. Yo, believe I'm going too. From Earth podcast is done.
It's still under. Let's do it.
It's done.
First stop.
Here we at. Where we at? Let's talk about. First of all, R.I.P. Duane Haskins.
Yeah, absolutely.
Former quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers and now Washington Commanders. I believe over the past weekend, passed away from an accident. Him crossing a highway. So the story, there's a lot of stories coming out, but it's kind of vague, with the details. Obviously, so somebody lost their life, and family members had to make arrangements for that, right? So it's unfortunate, and I pray for everybody involved, his family members, his loved ones, everything like that, because loss of life is always tragic. But I feel like I have to just get this out, and I have to speak on this.
Here we go.
It's just I'm curious as to what your guys' thoughts are on the details that we do know of him being hit by a dump truck while trying to cross a highway.
Yeah.
Right. When you think about it, like when I thought about it, my first question was like why would you try to cross a busy highway?
Right.
Right. As somebody who drives every day for work and everything else, you know, you see it happen frequently.
Yeah.
Where people are running across busy highways, and as a driver, you have to be kind of like aware and alert.
Right.
Right. Something it just feels off, man.
Do you feel like the story is incomplete? Like they're not giving us like the details, like the real details?
Well, I do, but I understand it, and I respect not giving all of the details right now. Right, I do. So right now, I am just hypothesizing without trying to be disrespectful to that man's legacy and his family.
Yeah.
But the more I think about it, was the way the story came out. His motorcycle ran out of gas. And then he was walking up the highway and then decided to cross a highway and was struck by a dump truck.
Right.
And when I think about it, it's like a dump truck, man. Like, you can see a dump truck. You can see a dump truck. They're probably not going as fast as, you know, the military dude in the Dodge Charger.
Right.
Or the guy, you know, who thinks he's got a Lamborghini when he's driving a Hyundai Sonata.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah.
And so it's like... It's nasty, so I don't want to get too deep into it, but I just feel like there's more details about it.
But we said earlier, it's like there's not always going to be like, well, I should say that. For this specifically, it's too much of a story. Because, like, you know, again, it's a highway. He could have did this, and he could have chose 99 other ways to die. The highway was the one. You know what I mean? Like, that's where we're at with that.
Yeah, but you just never know where somebody's at, man. You just don't know where somebody's at, right? And then you think, like, when you think about his career and the way that it was trending, you know, Adam Schefter did this when he shouldn't have. But unfortunately,
struggling football player.
Yeah, that didn't need to come out in the initial, you know, notice of it.
Yeah.
But you kind of have to factor it in when you start talking about the story.
Well, no, you don't. That's just it. Because it's a story.
Right.
Because the thing is, it's always written by a narrative, which causes us to start talking about what we're saying now.
Right. Then I'll leave. You know what? You absolutely right. I'll leave it alone. I won't go into it any further. Like I said, out of respect for him and his family, I'll leave it alone.
Because we don't know, and I mean, until something specific and concrete comes out, I don't want to hypothesize.
I wonder, you know, maybe it's just because he's young. You know what I'm saying? We thought he had, you know, a career ahead of him of you know, playing a game that we all love to watch. You know what I'm saying? Maybe that's just kind of part of it. Like, damn, this feels like it just came out of nowhere. Like, it's not like, you know, Gilbert Gottfried was older. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So and he passed away. We're not like, man, how did this occur? But Duane Haskins is 24 years old. And was like, why were you on this highway? Like, why were you walking on the highway? Like, what really happened? Like, why were you trying to cross it? You know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean, those are just general questions, right?
Yeah.
You would just ask that. So that's why I'm saying, like, I'm not trying. I keep reiterating because I just want to drive the point home that I'm not trying to be disrespectful. But you do have to ask the question, like, why are you walking up the side of a highway? You know, why can't you call for emergency services?
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Why did you involve yourself in such an obvious dangerous activity?
Correct. And that's
you know what I'm saying? I think that's where it's going.
That's exactly where I was going with that. But like I said, I'll leave the subject.
Yeah.
We can move on because, like I said, I don't want it to come off as being disrespectful.
Right.
But we will stick in the same vein of young people doing things that we look at now like, why is that? Right?
Why did this happen?
Yeah, why did this happen?
Just that access.
Why did this happen? And that brings me to the latest craze on Netflix, the show The Ultimatum.
Oh, Jesus.
That's where this brings me, bro. It brings me to The Ultimatum. So the premise of the show, from what I've seen so far, is 6 couples come in. One partner is saying that they're ready to be married. The other partner is saying that they're not ready yet for whatever reason, right? And then they decide to go onto this show and discuss it publicly. And then what the whole idea is that they're going to date amongst themselves between the 6 couple. They're going to do what do they call that, like speed dating?
Yeah.
They're going to select somebody that they want to spend the next 3 weeks with. And then after that, they're going to come back to their original partner and make a decision on whether or not they're ready to make that jump into marriage or whether they're going to split up.
2 questions.
Yes.
Who is proposing that they go on the show? The person that wants to be married or the person that's not sure?
I believe it's the person who wants to get married was. I would imagine that they're the ones who say, like, well, let's go on the show because I'm giving you an ultimatum.
Okay.
And I need to. But like I said, I don't understand any of it at all.
And then is it just the person that's not sure if they want to get married? Are those the 6 people that are dating? Or is like the person who's ready to get married also has to spend?
So the person who gave the ultimatum that's ready to get married, they do the dating too.
That doesn't make any sense.
What?
They do the dating too, bro. And, yo, the show is crazy because let's just think about this, bro. Yeah. Like I said this off mic, but I'm gonna say it again.
They do anything for clout.
Anything for clout,
anything
bro.
For clout.
Like if it's you, if it's me, right? And I know that this is the one. This is the person I want to be with.
Yeah.
I know that this is it.
Yeah.
I'm not putting any type of temptation in that person's face for them to say, like, well, they're already unsure. Why am I bringing them into a group of wolves?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
To say, like, well, look what else is out there.
Right.
Let's see. It's either them or me.
Right.
Ain't no way, bro.
Right.
It ain't no way at all.
Oh,
B wouldn't do that.
Not sure you want to get married? I'm going to give you a 3-week hall pass to smash other people on TV?
Bruh. Exactly.
What? With video footage?
3 weeks?
3 weeks.
That's a lot of damage.
Yo, all right. So, I think I'm like 1.5 episodes in.
Yeah.
And the nonsense, it starts immediately, bro.
I bet.
Like right
I bet
away.
the show is amazing.
It's great television.
Like I was gonna say, I bet the show is amazing.
It's great
bro.
television.
Season 2 is called Swingers.
Nice.
But part of me feels like a lot of me feels like it's really staged for just kind of like for the media to eat it up.
Right.
Because like I said before, ain't no real niggas going on the show.
So you're gonna be on season 3, bro?
I'm not.
You sure?
Absolutely not.
You sure?
100%.
What's your number?
100%.
What's the number, bro?
the number?
Nah, this is where I gotta draw a line in the sand.
Yeah.
And my integrity says you can't go. I'm not. Y'all know me. I'm not playing with relationships.
Facts.
I'm not playing with relationships, yo. Yo, if you're the one for me, that's it. Yo.
Yeah.
I'm not putting. Like I said, we're not going into the lion's den.
If somebody even suggested this to me, the relationship is over.
Facts.
You understand what I'm saying? Like if somebody was like, well, let's go on this show and date other people for 3 weeks or
see if
however
you
long
still
it
like
is.
Now the way here's the way
their
I can
joint's over, bro.
The way I can see this really playing out, like if you really want to kickstart a career off of it,
Yeah.
like y'all actors and y'all fake a relationship, and y'all go on this show and y'all wilding out on the show, and then at the end of it, y'all spin it off into something else.
Right.
Cool, I get that. But if it's like a real life relationship,
Yeah.
ain't no way, bro.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Like it can't be.
Ain't no way. But I mean, like we just said, man, this generation of dudes.
You know who should be
anything
on this
for clout.
show? Will and Jada.
Yes.
They already got. They don't need the show. They're
Yes.
bigger than this show, bro. They're bigger than the show. They don't need this at all, man. But it's just a wild concept of a show. But you know me, I eat up all this nonsensical stuff. So
You love reality TV.
I'm going to watch.
What
So
other reality TV you watching, man?
I'm so glad that you asked me,
Yeah.
bro. I'm so
Wait,
thank
I will head out.
you. So
What else you watching, bro?
if anybody is familiar with the Zeus Network, they have these 2 really, really cool premium reality television shows
Yeah.
known as Jocelyn's Cabaret and the Bad Boys.
Yeah.
So let me start with Jocelyn's Cabaret.
Before you start that, I just want to remind people you just referred to yourself as a real nigga about 47 seconds ago.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Tell me more about Jocelyn's Cabaret. Go ahead.
Well, you know, we can backtrack real quick. You never saw Love and Hip Hop? You never watched Love and Hip Hop?
Nah, I might have seen like an episode.
You
or
never
two.
watched Diddy's Making a Band?
Making the Band? Yeah, I saw Making the
All right,
Band.
did you watch MTV Cribs?
I saw a little MTV Cribs.
Okay,
yeah,
so
yeah.
this is all in the same vein, bro. They're just
Okay.
spinning it into today's topics and subjects.
Okay.
So, like I said, bro, you can come at me all you want. I'm still gonna watch because I eat it up as fodder, bro. That's what I do.
Yeah.
But Johnson's Cabaret.
Yeah.
For anybody, if you're looking for mindless, senseless television to keep you engaged and intrigued,
Yeah.
you gotta watch Johnson's Cabaret, bro. I mean, from episode 1, it's a group of like 10 chicks that all want to make her group to do like this. They call it a cabaret, but it's really like a strip club session. and all they do is fight and dance and strip. That's it. The entire season. This is season 2, I think. Season 2 or 3.
Yeah.
And I think they wrapped up, but they can't really show the finale right now because Jocelyn beat everybody up, and Zeus Network is having a legal battle.
He's been Googling this shit, bro.
They're having a legal battle.
He's got all the background. You got the tea, sis? Like,
I was gonna say something, but I can't remember. Yeah. I was gonna say like the young lady say to that. Oop, oop. All right. Anyway.
Yo.
All right. So Bad Boys.
oh my god.
So Bad Boys is the
my
show
God.
with it's like I think it's like 10 dudes, 8 of them are gay dudes, and then it's like 2 straight dudes. All right. So 7 of them are openly gay dudes. It's 2 straight dudes, and then there's Kurt Franklin's son. and he don't really want to put out there, or like what his preference is.
You're on the show, we know.
He don't want to put it out there, but that was I guess that was kind of like his thing. Like he was like, I don't really want to tell, I just do me, I chill. But everybody knows he's Kurt Franklin's son. Oh, and the dude Andrew Caldwell, y'all remember the Delivered dude? Mm-hmm. He was on the first episode and caused mad chaos.
So this is just a house full of gay dudes?
But personality. So you got Andrew Caldwell, you got Kurt Franklin's son. Uh-huh. You got the dude. Remember, y'all see that Twitter joint where the dude hopped out of the back of a truck and was like, "Where the money reside?" The money reside, dude. Man, he's on the show. Anyway, listen.
Why is your enthusiasm
Yo,
so
like,
crazy?
because this is what I do.
This is the happiest I've seen you in like years.
This is what it's reality television.
This is what you do?
Yes.
All right, man.
Yep.
Hey, listen, bro.
Yep.
Have
It's
at
great.
it.
It's great.
You
All right,
like
so
it.
what's your number?
Ain't no number, bro.
What's your number?
It's 2 dudes on there that claim that they're straight dudes, and they're constantly being challenged, like for their listen. All I'm saying is that you can't pay me to go on this show, and I'm secure in mine, but you can't pay me to go on that show. But I will watch. Absolutely will watch.
Faithfully.
Absolutely will watch.
Hey, man, you like it. I love it, bro.
You know what I mean?
This is what it is.
All right. See, y'all. I told you, y'all let me pick the topics for the week. So
That's what you
we
want to
at.
watch. Hey.
We want to spin it. We want to spin it into another serious topic real quick.
Yeah.
And talk about the shooter, the Brooklyn subway shooter.
Yeah.
So this was what, Monday, Tuesday?
I think it was yesterday, right? Was it yesterday?
Yeah, Tuesday, man.
Yeah.
Somebody just shot up like 10 people in the Brooklyn subway.
Yeah.
Which is crazy, tragic. I don't know if there were any people that passed or died or anything like that. But today I saw some of the stories where they had a person of interest, and now that person of interest has officially been named the suspect.
Yeah.
In the shooting, and I was shocked to see who it was, man.
Right.
Frank James.
Yeah,
Frank James,
man.
yeah.
I was shocked to see
They
that.
caught him, by the way.
They did get him?
Yeah, they got him.
They did get him?
Did you see him?
Yeah, so I
He
saw
looks
him.
like Al Roker.
I did see him. That's why I was shocked.
I was like, Al Roker up in the subway.
There'll be no Al Roker slander on the From Earth podcast, bro.
I'm just saying.
Listen, man, I was shocked, and I'm just like, I don't. And the reason I say that is because we've seen this a little bit more frequently lately with the what was it, the guy that drove through the crowd. There's been a lot more of, it seems like, just disgruntled people, minorities,
Right.
which don't really fit the whole mass shooting. I don't want to start stereotyping, but we know that it don't fit the prototypical mass shooter.
Right.
We know that.
Yeah.
I'm not giving this dude I'm not giving him no
Right.
whatever, but I'm just saying, like, it's just wild to me, bro. And I hope that everybody who was affected in that shooting, comes out of it.
Right.
And really, like, is able to heal.
Right.
But it was just a wild situation because it had mad people on edge.
I mean, I was hopeful that this would jumpstart the conversation on mental illness again, but Twitter proved me wrong.
Well,
That isn't apparently what's going to happen in this case.
Well, like we said, social media feeds off of what's happening now.
Right.
What's happening today, right?
Right.
Mental illness has never been off the table. It just gets pushed down the list.
Well, no, but when these things happen, and listen, when it happens and it's a white dude, it's he must have been mentally ill. That's the initial reaction. You know what I'm saying? Because this guy was said to be a black separatist. However, you know what I'm saying? Now, obviously he's a terrorist. You know, Biden and Kamala Harris did this. They put him up to it. You know what I'm saying? This is all because of Mayor Adams and Letitia James. You see what I'm saying? Like, is
that some of the discussion?
That's the discussion. That's what people are saying. This is what I'm saying. So when we've had other incidents, you know, they want to run to the mental illness part first to try to explain away why somebody did it. When a black person commits a crime, we never talk about mental illness, bro. We don't talk about the trauma that these city kids face, bro. That, you know what I'm saying, that these kids in urban culture centers face just on a daily basis, waking up and trying to get to school. We don't talk about that type of trauma. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but for anybody else, when something happens, we immediately want to find some reason as to some deeper meaning for the cause of what they did.
Cool. I'm glad that you're bringing that back to the forefront and want to have that conversation. But just like we just did with the Duane Haskins conversation and why he's on the highway, I'm going to pause this conversation with whatever this dude's name is. I'm not saying his name again.
Yeah.
And say, before we start going ahead and start having that mental health conversation, let's just make sure that this dude actually has a mental illness.
Well, let's make sure he actually did it, first of all.
Well, let's start there, right?
Let's start at that part,
there.
because
let's
I
make sure he
haven't
actually
seen
did it, or whoever the suspect is, before we start going to, you know, Cape World for any of them. Let's get all the details on it.
Oh yeah, I'm not trying to cape one way or the other, to be honest with you, right? Like, I'm not a fan of having the mental illness conversation when mass shootings occur.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Like, I get that might be a precursor, whatever, people out there are crazy, whatever it is, right? But that's not the issues that we're really dealing with when we're talking about mass shootings, right? That's not really what's going on. In this particular instance, though, my thing is, where's video footage? You understand what I'm saying? Like, the conversation to jump to the presumption of guilt in this particular instance is rather high.
Yeah.
Now, over the last couple of years, I have watched people in 4K kill other people, and then somebody try to tell me, oh, they didn't do anything wrong. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I've literally watched it in groups of people. We've all watched together. I ain't seen any video of this dude shoot nobody. I'm not saying it doesn't exist. I'm saying I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
But when you tell me that he was on a train in Brooklyn and all the cameras in the subway is broken, in the subway cars, and then they didn't really have a whole lot of video going on the platform and this and that. Like, bro, where's all this money that we are spending, or that New York is spending in particular, especially around terrorism and other crime-related things that they're always talking about? They need to spend all of this money for the bloated NYPD police budget. Where is all that money going to if we don't have cameras in places where we need cameras?
Part of it might be the reason why the lieutenant governor of New York was arrested for bribery.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe that might be my guess. Part of it might be going there.
That's what I'm saying, man. And this isn't an indictment on NYPD, and I'm not even getting into my anti-cop, none of that right now. I'm just simply trying to say that they spend a lot of money on these things in their budget. And you're telling me that somebody hopped on a train in Brooklyn and there wasn't no cameras in none of these cars that they could show any footage of this suspect to try to say, oh, this is the guy, he hopped on with this bag? Like, from what I read, the situation was like, oh, we found a bag with some guns and explosives in it, and it had his keys and his credit card. Like, you're trying to tell me he just left that stuff?
No, it's crazy you're saying that, because I'm reading his priors, and none of this even makes sense of what he did versus what his priors are.
That's what I'm saying. Like, the story itself doesn't
talk about burglary, criminal sex act, and theft of service. Like,
the story that they tried to lay out there for the public didn't make a whole lot of sense.
What was that second one you just said?
Criminal sex act.
Criminal sex act? The dude that they're claiming is the suspect now.
The head of suspect now.
All right, bro. I'm not saying nothing else.
Yeah, like, and this is what I'm saying. I'm not caping for dude.
Yeah.
I'm just saying the information that they have put out thus far does not create a clear picture for me, in any clearer than some of the pictures that I have seen. Like I said, we've watched it 4K.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
people have made 25 years old.
I didn't see what I saw.
Old, rather, excuse me.
Say it again.
All these priors have been almost 20 to 25 years ago.
20 to 25 years ago.
So there's been nothing since that point.
So what's crazy, right, is because, you know, as soon as the cops put this dude's name and picture out there, right, you had a certain segment of population that was overjoyed that they could be like, oh, shit, black people did something. right? However, the dude that turned him into the police was a Syrian refugee from Jersey, nonetheless. Like he lives in Jersey now, but he came here from Syria like 5 years ago. So these same people that were cheerleading the fact that black people did something now have to cheerlead a Syrian refugee that they never wanted in the country anyway.
The irony.
You know what I'm saying?
Yo,
like
facts.
Pick your poison.
exactly, bro. Like,
Oh my
come on,
God,
man.
yo. Man,
Listen,
listen.
we all know nothing's new when it comes to the media and how it portrays the narratives. You know what I mean? Like this is how we deal with everything, whether it be only black and white for the most part.
Right, right.
I mean, look, we have Putin, right? We're not treating him the same as we're treating all the other terrorists that are out there, right?
Nah, absolutely
Yo,
not.
is Putin on our bingo card? I feel like Putin's on the bingo card.
It's on
Yo.
a bigger car somewhere.
Go ahead, my bad.
Listen, man, they took care of Gaddafi, right?
I'm just,
They,
right?
You know what I'm saying?
You can find Saddam in a hole somewhere, but you can't hit my man in the big criminal area.
Hey yo,
I'm
we
like,
said we wasn't doing this no more.
We're doing
yo.
it.
We said we wasn't doing it no more.
I'm just saying.
I'm just saying how things are handled is different when they look the same.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But I mean, dude could be very guilty or whatever, and he's gonna get whatever's coming to him, right? I'm just saying, I want to see the proof. I want to see the videos. I want to see what's going on. Like, show me.
Yeah. Okay. I mean
Show me.
that's
That's all.
respectable. That's respectable, and
Yeah.
I get that, yo. Like you're right. Maybe I was too quick to jump and ready to just eat it all up, right? Everything that was being fed
Right.
through the media. So yeah, we do have to start to make sure that the dots connect.
Yeah,
Or
absolutely.
not us make sure, but the dots got to start connecting.
Right.
So I get that. I absolutely get that. Where we at now?
He's working again.
All right, yo, I saw something recently that the indoor mask mandate is returning to Philly,
Yeah.
18.
April 18th.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if you reside or live near the city of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, you know what I mean, prepare to bring the mask back out.
Put your mask on.
You know, put your mask on.
Yeah.
Stop being nasty. That's what I'm hearing. Just stop being nasty.
Yeah.
Because y'all out here no mask.
What they expect, bro?
They probably out here kissing. and stuff.
Like I don't understand what they thought was gonna happen now that everybody's getting back to work and all of that. Everybody back in the office. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's getting tested in public facilities because we all got at home joints now. You know what I'm saying? If people are testing at all, even if they're feeling sick, you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
people gotta get to work. People trying to get money.
Yeah.
You know, trying to do what they got to do. Businesses don't really want to be closed down, and nobody's trying to hear, oh well, I got COVID, I can't come in. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So what did they think was going to happen when, like, people at my job just came back to work? You just put a couple hundred people in a building. What do you think's going to happen?
Yeah.
There's certain
it is what it
guidelines, though,
is.
but Philadelphia is actually ahead of the curve now. The reason that they're doing it is not because of spiking; it's because of certain levels of.
It's because people's out here kissing.
That's all Philly does. They watch the Zeus Network and kiss.
Go ahead, yo. My bad, I threw you off. Philly's doing their ahead of the
didn't know what to
curve.
mind
They're
about.
Philly's ahead of the
Yes,
curve.
ahead
They're
of the
doing it because
So each there's a federal mandate. Excuse me. There's guidelines that each state has to go by based
Yeah.
on the case numbers.
Yeah.
So if a case number starts spiking in certain areas, then
Yeah.
their cities or states, for that matter, are required to,
Right.
In this case, mandate
Right.
the mask. Philadelphia is actually under in one category. I think it was the hospitalizations, which is a good thing, obviously.
Right.
But everything else was more or less right around the normal levels of what they're expecting for the mandate. So this is why Philadelphia is doing it. But Philadelphia also has one of the lowest, though.
Right.
So, it's a good thing they're trying to get ahead of the ball, ahead of the
Yeah,
game in this.
yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to get out of control
Right.
again.
So, I mean, I understand this, unfortunately, is the new norm that we're dealing with. So there's not much more we can really do. You know what I mean? Like, masks are not going to go anywhere for probably the next 10 years. Like, you're being real.
It's going to be a while.
Like, we're already, 3 years in, give or take?
Yeah. It's going to be a minute, bro. Like,
So,
real talk, it's going to be a minute.
this is our new norm.
Yeah.
it is a new norm.
Yeah.
This is our new norm.
Well, you know what? Speaking about work, I got a question because I saw this pop up earlier today, and I was like, let me throw it in the notes.
Yeah.
Talking about salary at work. What do you talk about? Do you talk with other coworkers, employees, or whatever about salaries, like openly at work at your job?
Yes.
Yes and no. I do it just to see based on value of the employee. Now, I only usually do that when the more better workers as opposed to those who are just more or less wasting time. Only because I want to make sure that they're being compensated for their work correctly. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like knowing your worth.
Right.
Like I'm always about that. Empowering things of that nature. It's like, hey, how much you making? If you mind me asking, you probably should be asking for more. I mean, look, everybody out here is trying to hire somebody. which tells me there's money to be given.
Yeah.
If everybody's still understaffed, they can pay you an extra whatever it is that you need or want for that. Because again, inflation is not going anywhere.
Right.
And we're still in this fight.
Right.
You know what I mean? I mean, shout out to those who are on like SSI and assistance and all those types of things, because you don't get any more money than what you already get.
Right.
So I don't even understand how y'all living sometimes. And I'm like, if y'all making it work, God bless you, because I know I'm just like, damn, I'm pissed off about gas. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
These people
hell
can't
yeah,
eat.
bro.
You know what I'm saying? You gotta spend more on groceries that they're used to getting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Things like
Yeah.
that.
I'm just wondering if it's taboo to talk about it and who it really benefits when you talk about salary at work.
I think it used to be taboo, right? But I guess the question is, should it be? You know what I'm saying? And I feel like probably not. You know, I feel like if you're concerned that you're making less than a coworker, then you kind of have a couple options. Either you ask your boss for a raise, or you go find a better job, or a job that will pay you what you think you should make.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I think that's obviously why bosses don't want us to ask.
Yeah.
Right? They don't want us to talk about it, because if you're making 35 and I'm making 30 and we doing the same thing, then, you know, I'm going to the boss and being like, yo, I need an extra $5 an hour.
So, like when I first started working, when I first got out of college, or I wasn't even out of college yet, I was working. I was still like finishing up my college stuff. I was making, I was doing hourly work.
Yeah.
And then when I graduated, my pay got bumped up like $1.50 an hour or whatever it was, something minimal. And I never really thought about it. It was always like, oh well, there were tiers of people. I was new. There were staff who were there longer. There were supervisors or whatever they called themselves, managers or whatever.
Right.
So I never really thought about it. And then when I started hitting the career world, where it shifted for me from hourly to salary, is when it started to matter a little bit more. And then even then, at that point, it was never really discussed.
Right.
We never really discussed salary.
Right.
At work, in the office, or anything like that. So we just never knew. But that was kind of just like the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's the elephant in the room, because there's disparities amongst gender first and then color.
Right.
And that's one of the things that, should be talked about, because we're trying to get equal pay from, women. So trying to find out everybody else's, it's like, well, damn, they're still trying to just get what we're making.
Right.
You know what I mean? But they're not going to put that on press. They're not going to, not women, I'm saying, corporations aren't going to make that
they don't want to tell you that, bro.
issue
They don't want to tell you
amongst them.
Because, listen, your boss can tell you you're fabulous all day long.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, I'm so happy you came in. You do great work. You're such an asset to the team. But I'm paying you 15% less than the guy next to you.
Right.
So you really don't believe the shit you're telling me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like what you pay me is how you feel about me, essentially, right? And especially in comparison to my coworkers. And if we all have similar job duties, we all perform similar functions at a similar level, but we're not getting paid similar rates, then that tells me somebody is liked more than others.
Is that
at that point?
Is that what that means?
Absolutely, bro.
Okay.
Absolutely. If somebody pays you 10%, 15% more than they're willing to pay me, they clearly either like you better or they don't like me enough to pay me the same thing if we're performing the same job.
I'll ask you this: like when you interview for the job, and they told you that you were hired and they told you what the pay was. I'll question: Did you negotiate salary?
Yes.
You negotiated salary and you did all that and you set the number to what you feel like you're worth.
Oh, I'm still not there yet.
No, I'm not saying. I'm just, I'm talking about
but,
in the context of this, right?
Yeah.
Like we know that there's a disparity between what men make and what women make and what white men make and black men make and then white women and black women. Like we know that, right?
Yeah.
That's statistical. That's out there.
Correct.
But I'm curious as to, for those the people you just said, like, oh well, you don't like your job. Not you don't like your job. You don't like your pay.
Yeah.
You talk about it with your supervisor, or you find a job that you feel can pay you what you're worth.
Yeah.
I don't know that everybody really falls under that the umbrella of being able to do that, right?
And that's why people stay underpaid.
Okay.
Like you know what I'm saying? Especially when you get into higher paying positions.
Yeah.
Right? Like if you are, I don't want to throw Amazon under the bus, but if you're a person that works in a unionized warehouse or something like that, you're probably going to make a set rate of pay, right? Or if you are working a job that pays somewhere between, $10, $11 an hour, if you walk in and say, I want 25, they're going to be like, all right, well, we'll see you later. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But when you're at higher paying jobs, if you're in a field where people routinely get paid between 75, 100, 125,000, you've got to be able to walk into your boss's office and say, "Hey, listen, this is the spot where I want to be at." Because otherwise, they will absolutely pay you 75 if they can get away with it when you're worth 125.
That's what I was going to say. I feel like that's more of a story for those jobs that you apply for that say, salary is commensurate with experience.
Right. But here's the other end of that, right? Because it doesn't even have to be those type of, it doesn't even have to be 6-figure numbers, right? I was just talking to somebody the other day, left the place that I work for another place. They had this conversation with their boss as far as the expectations of where they thought they should be based on the work that they do. And then they went out and they interviewed and they got another job. And came back to the boss and said, "Hey, we had this conversation about, where I wanted to be, where you thought I could be, da-da-da-da-da. Obviously, we haven't gotten there, so I'm going to take this other place of employment that's going to pay me X amount of dollars." They came back to her 2 days later and offered a raise.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And she's like, "Yo, but we had this conversation a year ago.
Yeah.
You could have given me this raise a year ago.
Yeah, but
you chose not to."
No, you're right, but that happens a lot.
It does, but this goes back to me saying whether they like you or not.
No, it's
you,
not.
You understand what I'm saying?
And you're right. You're absolutely right with that. And then the reason I'll say it doesn't happen more often is because a lot of times when people ask, it's not coming from a place of leverage.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So, I was like, nah, you're good. You don't have another opportunity.
Right.
So I can keep you on for another 6 months until you either find something or you just stick
And
it out.
and that's my point. If you appreciated that employee,
Right.
if you thought the employee was worth the pay raise, pay them.
Right.
Otherwise, if you don't, what you're saying is, I know I can take advantage of you for X amount of time until my time runs out
Now,
and I'm
here's
forced to
something
make a
too, though.
maneuver.
When that happens, it's not likely to happen in more of a corporate structure because raises are either merit-based, performance-based. It's not based on someone liking you.
So they tell you. That's the
But it's
rationale
not based on
they give
someone
you.
liking you. If you are a entrepreneur and you have employees of your own, that's different. You know what I mean? Because there's no shareholders or anything to be worried about. Because the number one controllable expense in any business is going to be payroll. It's labor. It's always going to be labor.
Correct.
So-
you're absolutely correct.
If you own your own business and it's just your one entity, that's all you have. You have 15 employees, 1,000 employees, however many you have. You say, "Hey, I like each of you equally." Everybody gets a raise.
Okay.
You have the control and autonomy to do that.
Sure.
There's nobody you answer to.
Correct.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So it is a unfair game that has to be played. For simple fact is,
Right.
my boss, his boss, so on and so forth, don't even answer to those people.
Right.
They answer to shareholders
Right.
who are trying to cut the fat.
Sure.
Profit
Well,
the bottom line.
what they've done by being a corporation is they've basically set up artificial obstacles in your way of making
course they
more
do.
money.
Of course.
You understand what I'm saying? And then
Absolutely.
they hide behind those obstacles that
Absolutely.
they've set up to say why they can't pay you
The
more
less
money.
we make, the more they do.
Right. So for companies that are making, millions upon millions of dollars, you can afford to pay people what they're actually worth to your company. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Like nobody's saying pay somebody, $100,000 a year for a $40,000 a year job. If somebody brings $40,000 to your business, then that's what you should pay them, right? But if you're not going to pay that person double, triple that amount, no matter how much you like them, really, you know what I'm saying? Like that's not going to happen. But if you were to tell me that somebody's making 35 and you're telling me, oh, you can't move them up to 40, well, that's a bunch of BS. You clearly can because that's the value that they bring, and they should be paid for the value that they bring to the job.
Jeff Bezos could probably give his entire platform $100K and still be a billionaire.
It probably could. That doesn't mean everybody does $100K worth of work.
No,
but,
I know.
but for the people who do $100K worth
Right.
of work, they absolutely should get that money because he has the ability to give them the money. You see what I'm saying?
I'll put it like this: Have you guys ever done a job interview or gone on a job interview, and they asked you what your current salary was at your place of employment?
Yes.
That's happened to you? All right, so it's happened to me as well. My understanding is that that's not supposed to happen,
Oh, it's probably not.
but it happens all the time.
Yeah.
Right? Because all three of us are sitting here without having ever had this conversation saying that we've seen that happen.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And so I'll leave the listeners and the viewers with this, right? Like if you're in that world right now where you're looking for employment, you're somewhere and you feel like, a raise should be in order. Some of the things that you do have to start thinking about are renegotiating pay. when you're interviewing for a new job at a new place of employment, finding out what that job industry pays as a median, and then put your value.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Because you have to do that, because I personally don't think that it's a good business model for employers
Right.
to just say, I'm going to overpay everybody just because.
No, absolutely not. Nobody should be overpaid.
Everybody should be paid what they're worth.
Yes.
But
they're doing that now.
But your worth has to be kind of, you have to start to be able to help them determine what your worth and your value is.
Right.
You feel me?
No, but like I said, they're doing that now because you have a lot of people coming into certain, jobs. They're getting paid more than current employees just because we're trying to hire everybody right now. You know what I'm saying?
Then that means that's the value, though. That's where the market is.
No, you're absolutely right.
That's what I'm saying. But what he's saying and what Jay is saying is correct. Like, when you're searching for a job, you do have to do your research on the industry. If it's a job where it says, median salary $65,000 to $75,000, and you go in saying, oh well, I want to make $50,000.
Right.
They're going to pay you $50,000, and then you're going to find out that somebody else is making $70,000. Then you're going to be upset. You know what I'm saying? Because you didn't do the necessary homework that you needed to do to find out what you should have been asking for.
Yeah, but we can't. I mean, I hear what you're saying, but that's not the corporation's responsibility. Like you said, that is more or less the person who's interviewing for that position.
No, absolutely.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Absolutely.
That's still, it's a separate topic all in itself because no one here is responsible for what you do and don't know about what you're getting into. You're going out knowing, like you say, your value. If you don't know that or you think less than.
Oh yeah, no, you got to know your value.
So
you got to know your value. But part of understanding what your value is asking, asking around and saying, hey, how much are other people getting paid? You might think this is a $50,000 a year job. And maybe that's your experience. Maybe you had this job previously at some point, and that's what you were making. But now the market has changed. Like you said, people are getting paid more. People are getting signing bonuses. People are getting other perks and stuff like that for going into the same positions that 5 years ago they weren't getting. So if you don't know that, you got to ask. You got to have that conversation.
Absolutely.
And then once you find that out, like, hey, whoa, I should be making $70K instead of $50K. Now it's up to you to have that conversation when you have your employee manager review and say, hey, listen, you know what I'm saying? I'm doing X amount of work, just like this person is doing X amount of work.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We gotta come to an agreement here.
Absolutely.
And they can either say yay or nay, right?
Most definitely. Right.
And then it's up to you to make the move after that.
So we good on this one? On this topic?
Yeah.
I want to get to, I don't know how much time we have left, but I want to get to one last topic, or what I believe to be the last topic. And I want to talk about the problem that is hyper-independence. And when I talk about hyper-independence, I'm talking about those people who feel as though they need to control everything. They need to be able to do everything, and they cannot rely on anybody. They can't depend on anybody.
Just at me, bro.
and I'm glad you said that.
Just at me, bro.
I'm glad
Come
you
on,
said
man.
that, because I feel like there's this misconception that hyper independence is gender specific, and I obviously it's not, right? I think that hyper independence is a bit of a
culture.
No, I don't. I feel like it's a bit of a trauma
I
response.
knew he was gonna. God damn it!
I do.
Jesus Christ!
I do.
I knew you were gonna say that, bro.
And you disagree.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
And the reason I say that is because when you fail to be able to look at other people and be able to appreciate what they can add to you in your life, because you've been hurt, you've been damaged, you've been let down by somebody else, that's problematic. It's problematic, and it causes a lot of issues, for people personally, relationship-wise, and it's something that I wanted to put out there because, you see, I see it a lot of it on social media, in the form of, man-hating, in the form of, the gender wars, and a lot of it really comes down to people who are just hyper independent. That's where you start getting into this whole alpha male, and to this whole man hating, like heterosexual relationship stuff is wrong, and leave that man, blah blah blah. Like I feel like it's one of the core issues to relationships with people. Tossing it to you guys.
Go ahead, B, because I'm gonna.
I mean, so first of all, before we continue, define hyper independence. Like, if you could put it into a sentence or two, tell me. I guess consolidate your thoughts into what you believe hyper independence is.
Okay. All right. I can maybe give an example. I don't know if I can give a definition.
Okay. All right.
So my example would be, well, I can cook for myself. I can clean. I make my own money. I can furnish my own house. I wash and fold my own clothes.
Yep.
You know, what value do you bring to the table?
So essentially, your definition is B. Davis. This is what you're telling me, bro.
Wait, did I touch a nerve?
No, not at all.
Is a hit dog hollering?
No.
Okay.
No. But I'm saying these are things I say all the time.
Okay.
You know that. You know I live that way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I wasn't talking about you specifically.
Lies.
I wasn't talking about
was
you.
like, "I'm gonna get this
You
nigga
weren't the
tonight."
prototypical person I was thinking of reviewing when I was coming up with this. But hey, give me your
I
take.
figured him out.
Give me your take.
So I've heard this.
Wait, would you like the definition first?
Oh, you got one?
I got one.
Yeah, go ahead.
Wait, is this Webster's or is this Urban
This
Dictionary?
is Urban Dictionary.
Dictionary. Well, your black ass thinks you better. Nah. Hyper-independence is when you choose to be independent of everyone, even though it may negatively affect you. Now, there's a lot of examples here, which a lot of them you don't even qualify for, so you may not even, you just might be selfish. I don't know.
You might be selfish.
I might be.
All right, but all right,
Just a little bit.
So based off of that definition,
Yeah.
or not based off, but now you've heard that. You've heard
Yeah.
Urban Dictionary, Julius from Earth Dictionary
Yeah.
definition.
Yeah.
What say you?
I say that by that definition, hyper independence doesn't fit me.
Okay.
I don't feel like I'm negatively impacted by not being around other people.
Now, here's some examples which could change a lot of people's perspectives. All right, so for
Okay.
one, you're a very private person. You're
Yep.
a workaholic.
Yeah.
You don't delegate tasks. You have a hard time asking for help.
Hey, bro, you can stop right there. You're definitely describing this dude right here, yo.
You dislike needy people.
Yo,
listen.
You struggle with long-term relationships. Oh, shit. You're fucking hyper-independent.
Yo, I feel okay. I feel seen.
You decide everything by yourself.
I
Yes.
feel seen, he says.
Yeah, that's me. That's me.
You have a hard time asking for help.
So here's the thing, though. My issue is when people tie it to trauma, because that's the part where I'm like, I feel like everybody wants to trauma bond these days. I feel like everybody likes to talk about everything as a result of somebody's trauma, or everything must be trauma based. And I think some of those things might actually just be personality traits. I didn't have to learn to be hyper independent.
Right.
I've just always literally been doing shit myself. Like, that's how I've lived my life. You know what I'm saying? Now some people might call that trauma, but for me, that was literally just, you know what I'm saying? I'm a 80s kid. I'm a latchkey kid, bro. I grew up in the middle of fucking nowhere.
I feel like this is that Spider-Man meme where they're like pointing at each other. But
So I can appreciate the understanding behind what you're saying, because of the fact is people label everything,
Right.
no matter how.
Right.
There has to be something wrong. There has to be something.
Exactly.
It just can't be.
Right.
You know, like you guys even say something to me, like, you know, arrogant, things like that. Why is that so different from confidence?
Right. No, you're just bougie
no,
as
you're
fuck.
just you are bougie and arrogant,
Bougie
bro.
as fuck, bro.
Listen, I have a certain level of living. It's not
You are arrogant. You're arrogant. Look at your beard. It's your fucking arrogant ass beard.
Look at your hyper-independence. You can't grow it. You choose not to grow it because you don't ask for help.
Exactly.
He don't want to talk to Dr. Rogan.
Nobody.
Nah, I don't want nobody trying to help me with my beard.
Help you with that.
Nah, fuck it. Shave it.
But no, I mean, it's people try to label things. You know
Right,
what I'm saying?
exactly.
And
Yeah.
it's because it's not what they're used to.
Yeah.
I actually had a talk with a friend of mine the other day about certain things because, you know, they're saying bougie and things of that nature. I was like, it's not bougie because there's people doing what they do. It's only
Right.
bougie to you because you're not doing it.
Yeah.
So if my level of what I do is above yours, doesn't make me bougie. What does that make you?
The way you just described it, bro.
Bougie as
is
hell.
bougie.
How's that
Like
bougie?
my level of doing it is above yours, bro.
Dude,
You
if
didn't
you
you
do
didn't
things-
say
listen.
different than yours. You didn't say separate. You said above.
I'm
Because the word
above you.
bougie
That
is perceived through that.
But above and y'all hear we didn't see him there.
Oh, yeah.
The word bougie implies higher than, greater than. I mean, the word.
In
the
context of the word, again, it's where you only understand for what yourself.
I feel like I'm talking to two brick walls here.
Nah, bro.
I swear. I swear. I am.
So here's the thing. Let's go back to the topic, hyper independence, right? What's my trauma?
You have literally never learned
This guy.
You never literally learned to trust people.
That's false.
Okay. You asked. I don't know for certain.
And that's the issue that I have when people attach it and say this is because of trauma. I'm not saying that the definition is wrong for hyper independence. I'm not saying that people can't make a case to say, hey, that might be a tough way to live, and perhaps there's a better way to do. There very well may be. Those are all okay statements to make. I think for me personally, once you attach it and say it's because of trauma,
that's the trigger word. That's the trigger phrase.
That's the phrase to me that makes me say, prove it. You understand? Because we like to, for whatever reason, everybody's a fucking Tumblr PhD these days, right? You know what I'm saying? We all got our PhDs from Twitter University.
I'm a Reddit doctor.
Oh, you're a Reddit, even better, and we like to attach these phrases to the ends of things with little justification. So when somebody comes up, because people have said this to me before, you're not the first person to say this, bro. When people when people say, "Oh, you're hyper independent, you must have had trauma." Well, what's my trauma? You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, but
like,
when
everybody
people,
just likes to say, "Oh, it's
trauma." But when people give you what they would figure to identify as being some of the areas they can see where you may have had something fall short, and you just flat out just nope. Okay, see, that's where you're wrong, and you're ready to. I'm not saying that you're wrong, but when you're so ready to defend it, as opposed to you said you've heard this several times. I don't know who else told you this,
right?
But you get what I'm saying. And even when I started talking about it, you was like, "Why'd you point at me?" So to me,
okay, yeah,
you know what I mean? Like
I know I fit the profile.
I didn't throw this in here to say like, "Yo, we coming at B Davis."
We got to talk about B today.
Yeah,
this is an intervention and shit.
But the fact that it comes up, and the fact that you've had to stand on this at one point or some points before,
right?
To me, it's like, at what point do you, or anybody for that matter, who has been told that they're arrogant or hyper independent or too sensitive or whatever the things may be, do you really start to sit back and do the self-reflection and say, like, what part of what I'm doing, what part of who I am, what part of how I'm presenting myself is giving off A, B, and C?
So wait, hold on. Let me respond to that real quick. Two sides to each coin. Two sides to every coin, right? One side says hyper independent, doesn't like to be around other people. The other side says stand 10 toes down and believes what you believe in firmly. What's the difference? See, the reason that I've heard this before from people is people that were upset because I didn't blindly go along with what they wanted. And because I stood firm in what I believed, then it was, oh, well, you're independent. You don't trust anybody. You don't do this or you don't do that. No, I think you're wrong. And then I prove them wrong.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so for me, if I look at something, I don't think that's a good fit for me. I don't think that's a good situation for me. I don't think that what you're doing is a thing that fits for me. So I'm not going to. I'm gonna be over here doing what I need to do for myself.
I'm gonna ask you one question, then I'm gonna move off of it from you.
Yeah, go ahead.
When is the last time you delegated a task to somebody that could have been delegated?
I delegate tasks every day. It's part of my job.
Okay. That's your final answer?
That's my final. Now, are you talking about in regular life?
I'm talking about for B Davis.
Yeah.
When B Davis has something that he could do, or something that he could have somebody else do that could save him some time, that could just be passed off to somebody else.
I'm alone all the time, bro. And maybe that's just part of the hyper independence, but
he's got time.
I prefer to be by myself, and I just take care of what I got to take care of.
All right, noted. You know what? But like I said, I don't need to keep driving this.
No, but I'm not saying that I'm not hyper independent. Yeah. What I'm saying is the cause of that is not necessarily rooted in trauma. That's my disagreement. I'm not disagreeing about the definition.
Yeah, I got you. I'm
and
curious.
Whether it applies to me.
I am curious, and I will challenge any of our viewers or our listeners that are checking this piece out. I would like to hear what their take and their definition of hyperindependence and what they feel are some of the causations, some of the causes or triggers for it, I would love for that type of feedback. So if you guys hear this part, drop a comment on YouTube or on Twitter or whatever, and just let us know.
Yeah.
Because like I said, this conversation is one that we can obviously continue to have. The same thing with the whole, what did you say? You said arrogant versus confidence.
Right.
Right.
It's like,
where do you draw the line? And I want to hear your take
I think
on
the
it.
line
my
is.
issue.
I think the line is right at what I do is above you.
I
think that's the line.
So I see a lot of similarities when I get called that, right? And it seems to happen a lot in more coming from minorities that I know than any of my white friends.
Oh shit!
No.
Here we go. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Those people.
Because I have
You said minorities.
Right, minorities.
across the board, minorities. It's a different level when I'm
wasn't-
doing things that I'm comfortable with, the people who are able to do them, versus those who are not. So those who are not are the ones that are labeling me as such in some aspects, as far as being bougie and things like that.
So the have-nots are coming at
I'm
you
not saying
because you
they
have.
have-nots, but
Right.
for instance, if I say, have you tried caviar? You're like, oh, that's bougie.
Every time
No,
he
it's an
describes it.
example. It's an example.
Every time you describe this, bro.
Right?
Hide
You'll
your
look at
money,
me.
y'all. There's broke people around.
I'm just saying. It's his podcast. But I'm just saying, there's just certain things that I tell people all the time. It's like, you need to try certain things because you don't know what you don't know.
Right.
And that's all I get at with them. I don't get offended by it. Like, to me, it's like a learning experience.
You,
or teaching both.
you literally just tell people to level up, and that's not arrogant.
Was it arrogant when Sierra said it?
I don't even know who Ciara is. Shout out to Russell.
I'm just saying.
But I'm saying, if you had, I don't see many minorities calling any of their white counterparts that same level. I don't see it. Nobody's going to your man who's spending that kind of money and saying you're bougie.
You serious,
I don't see that. In my circles, I don't see that.
bro? Because you live in your own world.
I do. Am I hyper independent though?
No, you're arrogant. You're arrogant world.
My world,
you only see you.
my world-
Nobody else exists outside of my world.
my world has always been offered to both of you.
That you know what he brings up an interesting point though, and it's really a whole nother conversation because we are around people that will try to tear us down personally, but then go shuck and jive yes massa to other people doing the same shit. You understand what I'm saying? So I get what he's saying about people trying to tear him down, but wouldn't say it. But then again, Esso, you eat caviar 3 days a week.
2.
Yeah.
It's expensive.
You cutting back inflation? Fucking Putin price hike? Messing with your caviar?
Talk about it.
Terrible,
Let's talk
bro.
about it.
To end the war in Ukraine.
Man, oh my
It's time.
goodness.
It's messing up my food budget.
Food budget.
Yeah.
That goes on the black card. All right. I think we kind of hit our benchmark for the evening, right? I think it was really good conversation.
We got one more topic we got to talk about, bro.
Oh,
You
okay.
know what it is.
Well, you knew I was going to come around and ask if there was something else we needed to
Yeah,
discuss.
you got to go ahead and throw it in there, bro.
Well,
Come
no,
on, man.
you refresh my memory. Are we talking about the Drewski?
No,
Where we at? What we talking about?
no, we were on.
It was going to segue into something, remember?
Oh, the role playing.
Yeah, number 7. Yeah, because
right.
Esso don't even know what that's about yet.
Oh, role playing.
Yeah, man.
Okay. All right. So this is the last topic of the night.
Yeah.
First and foremost, have either of you ever engaged in role playing
No.
in the bedroom?
I always play the role of the man. Enough said.
You got to pretend to do that shit, bro.
Always.
So here's
all
what we're
the
gonna
time.
do tonight.
That's all the time. You're just going to listen one time.
All right.
Just one time.
So,
Can I bring the dick tonight, please?
yo, that's
Is
a
that-
whole other conversation.
Is that what's happening, bro?
fam?
I want to be the man this time.
Do you watch
Come
Bad
on.
Boys? No. All right. So the reason I brought it up, was because the rapper Mano was on another podcast, and they were talking about role play, and he was saying how his one of the things he likes to do is play the role of a runaway slave, a beaten slave, when he's dealing with when he's. I'm trying. He was talking about
Glory tonight.
he's a runaway slave that Massa just beat up, and he gets Massa's wife, who is the person on the other end of the role play,
Right.
is like
The white woman.
the white woman
This only happens with white women.
It can only happen.
is coming to soothe him.
Yeah.
And that's the role that he likes to play in the bedroom.
Yeah.
And so, all right, so my first thought was,
Who the fuck is asking Mano questions in 2022?
why are we doing this? But then I had to bring it back, over super central with me. I had to say, like, yo, why kink shame, right? Why kink shame? Here we go. The reason we kink shame. Hold on, pause.
I'm done with this fucking
Time out.
Nah.
The reason we kink shame is only because people keep throwing their kinks out there publicly. That has to be the reason. Because if he did this and never said nothing, we would never know.
This is not kink shaming, bro.
What is this?
This is Mano shaming. Are you fucking kidding me, bro?
All right, go ahead.
He got in front of a camera and told people he likes to play runaway slave with white women?
Yes, he did.
And we just and we're gonna somehow excuse that and be
I'm not excusing
but
it.
that's his kinks. Those are his fantasies. We shouldn't shame him. No.
Let's put trauma to that.
Nah. Come on, fam.
It's just all right. So it's the same thing with this dude.
And why were the chicks just giggling around with this shit like this was cool, bro? Like,
I'm telling you,
How they
bro.
walked on the leash, right?
Anything. They do anything for clout.
bro, like you gotta like when somebody say something like that, you gotta stop the camera.
You gotta stop the camera.
You gotta stop the camera and just be like, hey, listen, this ain't the situation.
You gotta cut it and be like, nah, we gotta come back to this.
Yeah. You damaging blackness out here, bro.
Yo, this falls into that same vein of the dude that was being walked into what was that, like a bridal party, a
reception?
wedding reception?
Yeah, bro.
On a leash?
On
a black man
on a
being
leash.
walked into a wedding reception on a leash by his
a
white woman?
Yeah.
His white bride?
Yeah.
Is that a kink? Yo, help me out.
I'm so disturbed.
I'm trying to understand.
I'm disturbed by the lack of real men that are in front of cameras. And apparently there's two of them here, and I guess we are going to be the only two. So I appreciate you showing up tonight.
Wow.
We are going to be the only two that carry the torch for the rest of them.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? Listen, bro, you watch too much reality TV for me, and engage in what was it called? The Bad Boys Club?
Bad boys.
I thought another one's coming out. Bad Boys got the fourth,
Yeah.
fifth, what?
Yeah. You got a little too excited. You've been your credit card's been suspended from the Bank of Real Niggas. Yeah, bro, you gotta put that on hold.
Are we trading him in the Black Coalition?
But nah, I don't understand why these dudes is really out here doing this, putting themselves out here on video. You want to do this shit in the privacy of your crib? Fine, I can't stop you because I don't know about it. But once it's on, like, you allowed this to be on social media, bro.
Right.
Like, now I gotta look at you, a black man, degrading yourself.
So I gotta ask you, bro. Aside from Mano and the dude being dog walked,
Yeah.
do you not have a specialty in the bedroom?
Do I have a specialty?
Yeah. I'm asking.
Do I have? Yeah, I have a special. Every grown ass man should have a specialty.
Let's not generalize, bro. I'm asking.
Fuck is you doing as a grown man if you ain't got a specialty?
Do you got to go to? I'm asking. Do you got to go to?
Yeah.
Okay.
But that ain't got nothing with being chained up and walked around like
I mean,
a
if
dog.
you did, I don't want to hear it.
No,
Yeah,
I don't
like
hear it
that's
either.
what I'm saying.
I don't
Like
hear it. I'm just
where are we
saying.
going with this,
Right?
bro?
I'm just saying because we like I
turn
said,
his mic
we
off?
only know because Mano decided to talk about it on the podcast.
This motherfucker about to ask for instructions and shit.
Fam,
You want to watch the DVD or something? Like,
let me tell you, bro.
you want me to put that in your Google Drive?
Let me tell you. let me tell you.
Download that shit, nigga.
SO.
What up, though?
Every time, but this is the type of subject I can't toss to SO because he's going to take it way too far left.
Nah, he absolutely is, and
And
we're gonna save him from himself tonight.
Bro, he don't even catch. Yo, I catch all the strays, bro. Somehow, I catch all the strays.
Yeah, because it's your fault.
So
You
Know your
homie.
audience.
You know what I'm saying? it's your fault, bro. You let that shit go down.
all right, so
You let that shit go down.
So we don't play runaway slave.
Nah,
and
fam.
we don't get dog walked.
At least you can't talk about like plenty of dudes have that fetish. They like being called a nigga and all of this by their white women and whatever, bro. Just keep that shit to yourself. Like I don't want to have to be forced to laugh at you. You understand what I'm saying? Like you've now forced me to have to make fun of you for this nonsense. Because how can I not say something about it?
Oh my god.
That guy has to go to work tomorrow.
He's probably gonna do so happily too. But you know, B did break down the video. B saw some anomalies in the video that kind of helped him understand who we were dealing with, who we were talking about in this situation, and you know, I think that because of that. You know, I feel a little bit more comfortable thinking.
I need like the chalkboard like that on Monday Night Football and shit.
Yeah, he's got to be like Kenny Smith on the on the board.
Yeah, with the board and shit, so I can run to him and be like, "What the fuck happened right here?"
this is where he went wrong.
Yeah, bro. That dude on the dog, bro. Everybody was in there. I think it was part of his family.
Yeah.
There was only a couple that looked like they came with the
They all
bride,
did look
bro.
like they was related to him.
You understand what I'm saying?
They
So
did
like,
look like-
could you imagine walking into a room full of people related to you on a dog leash?
Not my family.
You understand what I'm saying? Bro, do you know what I would do if I seen you come into a room like that?
SO's dog leash got to be diamond studded, but go ahead.
Oh, his bougie ass, obviously. You know what I'm saying?
Listen.
But bro, I'm
Standards.
yanking you up immediately. Like, I'm not letting that go down for you, bro.
Oh man.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, bro.
So
I do. I got you.
yeah, you know what I mean?
Cut that leash and run, nigga.
But
We's free.
but the truth is, B ain't gonna be at the reception anyway.
That's true.
Because he ain't coming outside, so it don't matter.
If I find out you about to be there in a dog leash, bro, I'm coming just to save you, bro. Like, I ain't gonna let you go out like that. That's crazy to me.
I was trying to avoid it, but here we are. We're here now, so
We know you do anything for a price.
I am for sale.
Yeah. Bad boys.
I'm not going on Bad Boys. We're done. And so, is there anything that you feel pressing that you need to talk about?
I want to jump back into the hyper independence.
No, we're not doing that. Forget that. Cut his mic. B.
They're gonna be coming at my neck all week over this shit, bro.
No, actually, here's a good question for it, right?
All right.
What is wrong with it?
What's wrong with hyper independence? Well, I gave you my explanation that B so
No, forget. I'm just saying.
vehemently defended and denounced. Although I still believe what I believe.
The reason I ask is more or less rhetorical, is because if you're used to doing things a certain way, right?
Yeah.
And you do it successfully, are you required to change that model?
Well, I tied it. See, remember what I said? Like, I tied it to the people who are the loud minority who want to speak so publicly about why, you know, all men ain't this, all women ain't this.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Like, that was what I tied it to.
Right.
Right. It's like, if that's who you are and that's what you're comfortable doing, cool. Be that privately, but once you bring it publicly, just like I said with anything else, once you bring it publicly, it's a fair game to be scrutinized. It's fair game to be, to be challenged.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying about
You
it.
said this before. It's like the people who are bitching and complaining are single.
Hyper
Hyper single.
apparently.
I mean,
But now that, like,
people in relationships aren't talking about this shit, bro.
bro, a lot of that shit is just for clout chase and just to have
That's all
something
it
to say,
is.
and everybody wants to
It's
be
to be
loud.
relevant.
Yeah, that's it. It's about being relevant. Like, I don't necessarily think it's real hyper independent. I think every few weeks, every few months, Twitter learns a new medical word and they apply it to everything. I'm pretty sure that's what happens, bro.
is hyper independence medical?
Apparently, if it's attached to
Psychological,
trauma, isn't that a psychological situation or
It
something?
is.
I mean,
You know what I'm
yes.
saying? Like, everybody's running around talking about mental health and not mental wellness.
Is that
you
in
know
the
what I mean?
Urban
Or the
Dictionary?
counselor and author Dr. Joe and
See, and that's what I'm saying. So, like, every couple of weeks, we learn a new phrase, then attach it to everything that's going on social media, and everybody thinks they're a doctor, they're a psychologist and shit. Like, whatever.
Right. Listen,
But
man.
I do think that if you're doing something where you feel like it is negatively impacting your life, or you can see that it's negatively impacting your life, but you are compulsed or compelled to do so and can't stop, then that's a whole different type of situation.
mainly because you probably can't see what's happening. 'Cause
Right?
you're so used
Yeah,
to it.
absolutely. And if it's hurting you, then that's a thing. And I think that's where part of your definition came into play. So it's like where it's negatively affecting you. But if it's not negatively affecting you, do what you do.
I think you and
Unless
I
you're
agreed
Mano.
in the past, because I posted something on Twitter where I think people view independence as selfish.
Right.
And
Yeah.
I think there's a very fine line with the understanding behind that.
That's some social media shit.
No, it is. But I mean, it's like you can be extremely independent. Doesn't mean you're selfish.
No. See, you're saying we're talking about two separate things. You said independence is selfish, and now you're adding extremely. That's an advernoun. An adjective, verb, noun.
Let me finish. The reason I say that
we doing
is in context to what B was saying, what we're talking about with hyper independence is he may have similar traits, but the fact that he has the ability to delegate when it's necessary is exactly why he's not. Because otherwise he wouldn't know how to turn that off. He wouldn't know what to do. He would just say, no, I don't trust you.
It's different when it's your assigned role for work or whatever, right? Like people do their job and they do it well, that's part of their job.
Trust is also a level of accountability in there.
But then when you start talking about in your personal life.
In my personal life today, I had to ask somebody for help. It wasn't the first choice. It wasn't the second choice. You understand what I'm saying?
How many holes did you punch in the wall after you did that?
Listen, man, because I don't like to bother nobody. That's really what it is.
Nobody
I know people got stuff going on in life, and I don't want to jump up and be like, hey, but can you do this thing for me? You know what I'm saying? So if I can take care of it myself, I'd rather just do that.
Most grown men try to figure shit out.
Yeah, but I got to the point where I'm like, yo, I gotta ask for help. So I had to ask for help.
We've all been there.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying?
I do.
It is what it is.
I do. And I don't agree. I don't disagree with, sometimes it being uncomfortable asking for help. But I think that hyper independence goes a little bit further than that. But for the sake of time, I feel like we're going to have to probably table this convo.
Right. We'll be on Twitter talking about this all week. Y'all be roasting me.
Yeah, I think
on
that
independence.
I think that I want to do a Twitter space about it. To be honest,
Let's do it.
at some point this week, and
Yeah,
then we can we can continue the conversation.
I like it.
All right. Fellas, as I say every single week, I appreciate you guys for coming out, showing up.
Yeah.
Because I know I ain't paying y'all.
Hey, yeah, you're not gonna be disrespecting me like that on camera, though, bro. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, run your pockets.
Shout out once again. Shout out to Mr. Prosperity
Absolutely.
for the space and for the videography.
Yeah.
Does a fantastic, phenomenal job. We wouldn't be able to take this thing to the next level without it. So, shout out to you. As y'all can see, I had to throw on some
merch.
Yeah, some merch this evening.
Yeah.
After I went back and looked at last week's video, I wasn't too proud of how I was presenting myself, so I had to come up and try to do something a little bit different.
Yeah.
But if anybody is interested in some the From Earth podcast merchandise, hit us up on Twitter. Drop a note or a line in the Gmail. JuliusFromEarth@gmail.com.
I'm about to email you right now so I can get some.
Yeah, email right now. Yeah, it's going to cost y'all. But
Probably. It's going to cost us money we can't make.
I got nothing else. Thank you to
Yeah.
all the listeners, to all the viewers. We appreciate you guys. Thank you for tapping in. Once again, I'm just going to remind you, don't forget to like, subscribe, share, tell all your friends, tell all your folk. We got nothing else. So this is Julius from Earth signing out. Peace. You are now tuned in